All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. This is Arjun, founder and CEO at HelloWoofy.com. If you're tuning in live from our Facebook page, our Facebook group, or LinkedIn or whatnot, the easiest way to connect with us here on the call, if you're a customer already, is to actually go into your account, HelloWoofy account. I'm going to pull it up real quick, so it's easy for you to figure that out. And let's go ahead and share my screen real quick. And if you're looking to join the call, just go ahead and go to the bottom and click on every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, free masterminds, mastering calls, mentoring calls, where we actually go over, tips, tricks, different parts of the platform, answer your questions. And if you're looking to tune in, definitely consider doing that over there. Hey, Carolina, how are you?
How are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I love your background.
Oh, well, thank you.
So we'll do a quick intro, and usually the point of this call is to really help you and other small business owners that end up joining with your questions, any strategies you need help with, and things of nature. But first off, who are you? Where are you calling in from, and we'll get started there.
All right. My name is Carolina Pedersen. I am owner and operator of Carolina Pedersen Visual Art and Photography. And my company just recently started a online or a art licensing brand called Art Maiden at artmaiden.com. Wow. So we're getting ready to launch that pretty soon. And I came over to HelloWoofy because I have been reallocating my time. And it's been, that's Carolina.com. That's the parent company, and the new launch is artmaiden.com. So I really need to allocate my time. I've had other social media management services, and they just didn't work out, largely in part because I don't think that they had the technology that HelloWoofy seems to present. I like the AI features, and I like the ease of being able to put everything there and have it operate autonomously to some degree. And the feature of being able to do something automated on Instagram is very helpful.
Yeah, and just to pause you for a second, we're actually working on auto posting Instagram Reels at the moment. So you can auto post carousels, you can auto post feeds, so long as you follow those 3 rules, which you may know of: 5:4 ratio, 4:5 ratio, or 1:1 ratio images. And so Reels are going to be 9:16 size as well, if I'm not mistaken, and they'll be auto posting as well. And then Facebook Reels will be reminder based, so that's coming out very soon.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. That would be very helpful.
Yep.
We're in the process of doing more lives. We're trying to do more lives, but just keeping up with the social media content on a daily basis it just eats up all the time. So what I really wanted to talk about or to find out would be your API offerings. I was on a different website. In fact, Carolina.com is on a marketing management site that I use for art, and it's been great. But for the new website at artmaiden.com, I didn't feel as if it was the right choice to be on that specific site. So since I have experience coding, I went and I coded my own site and did my own thing for Art Maiden. And that so far has worked out really well. I've been able to institute and add the things I want in the website that I felt would lead us in the right direction, as opposed to just sort of trying to make do with what the developers gave us in a situation where we didn't need what they were offering, or we wanted things that they weren't offering. And right now, the site is on Squarespace. So I like Squarespace because I can code when I want to, or I can use templates when I need to save time. And it's just been a really good balance of both. So my question is, I know that you just started working or doing APIs with MailChimp.
Yeah.
And our company for Carlana.com, the main company, is on MailChimp, but we've decided for the new brand that we were going to separate that and do the blogging and the email marketing through Squarespace, which has over the years become quite robust.
So a couple of things on those points. Currently, we support a handful of blogging platforms, and Squarespace, Wix, Weebly, they're coming soon, either as auto posting or reminder based posting. So that's definitely coming.
And that's
soon.
fine. For blogging, I'm fine with reminder based posting, or even having to literally cut and paste. I'm fine with that for the blog, because I actually have
the app would do the cutting already for you. You just have to paste it, and that's it. The
I already have
newsletter,
another system for blogging.
The MailChimp integration is not a web integration, it's a newsletter integration. So you can see, for example, we have a whole bunch of lists here of audiences. And so I can send a article with a video, with an image or GIF or whatnot to the same list as I would to my Medium account or my WordPress blog.
And that's great. But since we are creating a new brand, do you have an API that does the same thing through Squarespace?
So Squarespace doesn't really have an API that allows you to publish to it. Or are you saying they're starting to do newsletters?
Yeah, they do all of that now. They are competing directly with MailChimp.
Okay.
So
just spell the whole thing. Squarespace. Let's take a look. How to create a newsletter for your blog. That's not what I'm looking for. Products, blogging, web building.
It's under, where is it in my system?
And this is really good for everyone else who's tuning in, by the way. If you have suggestions, like send us screenshots.
Email marketing. There it is.
Where is it exactly?
Email marketing to the right.
Here, email marketing. Yeah, if you have suggestions, take screenshots, and especially if they have APIs and documentation for it, that would be super helpful, because then we can take a look at it very easily. All right, so so MailChimp is becoming Squarespace, and Squarespace is becoming MailChimp. That's great. Let's take a look at their API documentation. So this would be really helpful. Boy, they have a lot of.
They've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, the main thing is figuring out what they're able to do and not do. So I'm gonna have to have the team take a look at it over on the back end. Inventory, yeah, this is all very web heavy. Transactions, subscriptions, yeah, these are all about the web builder. Has nothing to do with the rest of the platform. Yeah, so this is an example of something that we'll have to wait on, looks like, because they don't really have an integration for newsletters. But we do have MailerLite, Constant Contact, one other Active Campaign. Those are on the list as well, because they do have a very robust API. They were really designed as a business to be in the email marketing space.
Yes, we're gonna try it out with Squarespace and see how proficient it is. I'm not super thrilled with MailChimp.
Yeah,
it's been a little bit of a struggle to.
How so?
I don't particularly care for a lot of the templates. A lot of the stuff that we do has been customized, which is fine. We probably would be doing that anyway, but I don't like the pricing structure. That's the big thing. I don't really like the pricing structure.
Well, I mean, I'd love to get your 2 cents on the rest of it, the rest of our roadmap, because by the end of the year, we want to do 8 channels. Right now, we do 5. And if any of these obviously hit home, let me know. And obviously, if anyone else is tuning in as well, let us know, because we do want to do by the end of the year direct mail community building on Slack and Discord, because we're realizing a lot of creatives are on there, NFT creators or musicians and whatnot. And then WhatsApp groups as well. So that's going to be coming out. Newsletters just came out with MailChimp, and then Google Web Stories just came out. So I think that might be really good for you, Carlana, because Google Web Stories. So Google Web Stories, kind of like Instagram Stories, but they populate on search results. So for example, and you can, if you wanted to go into the platform and schedule something, let's say, and this is for WordPress currently available, but it'll be available for Shopify pretty soon. So you go into settings, click on add account, you'll see it here where you can actually choose add web stories account.
Oh, okay.
And then let's say we want to schedule a story. Let's say we want to do content masters. This is our category for our own business. And let's see, we want to schedule, try to find something that's vertical. So here we go. We love web stories. So this is actually a story that I scheduled beforehand, but if you click on the little triangle on the right side, you can see 3 different stories here. And then the trick is, if you want to do the web stories themselves, just hit the little, the link icon, which is in turquoise blue. And you can then choose what button you want to add, what text color, and what description you want. So like, for example, enter a link, let's say just for this demo, we'll do google.com. So you got a HTTPS / that. And let's say go to Google. And then we'll choose a different color, maybe we want to do that. And we'll do enter text here, like best ways for SEO. And then you can choose like a different font here too. And then once we're done, you add it, and then it'll store it for that story specifically. And then you can choose the next. So when you actually schedule it out, it'll look like a slideshow, and it'll eventually index by Google.
So can I use still images?
Yeah.
Or so I can use a combination of still images and video, or is it one or the other? Or
images for now, videos we're working on, and then GIFs are supported as well. And then you can choose the title on top. The description in the editor field itself will be the description for the overall story, but then you can also choose descriptions or taglines for the individual slides.
Wow, that's great. I love that.
Yeah.
And that's something we would totally use. In terms of the email marketing, we'll just kind of see how it goes, and then hopefully you guys can do an API for Square. And if not, we can do a workaround. I'm not too worried about it. We'll see how it goes. We may keep MailChimp if Square doesn't pan out to be as forward thinking as we are hoping.
We do recommend WordPress mostly because it's the most robust in terms of capability.
For newsletters?
No, not for newsletters, for web development, because it allows you to publish to it really easily. It was actually one of our first blogging platforms we ever integrated with. And then Medium, and then Shopify. Shopify, we're just waiting on their approval. But for newsletters, MailChimp was by far the most commonly recommended in the small business community. They started with small businesses. So we always like to listen to our customers, but let me know how that goes, because we'll reach out to Squarespace ourselves and see if they can make an API.
That would be awesome. In the meantime, while that's happening, we'll have a much better idea of how useful it is in terms of what we're doing.
So
go ahead.
How are you creating your content? Like, how do you come up with your ideas and topics and things of that nature?
Right now, I am just creating content as I work. Okay. That's really kind of the best way. If I need to have things that I'm photographing, or if I am doing an art project, that's really where I come and record and get the content from. I'm a digital creator also, so a lot of that is already digitized, and then I can use a lot of the behind the scenes work of what I'm doing on my digital boards or in my computer. So that's been helpful, but it still takes time. And I would like to be able to, especially since we know we're launching and we're doing a project that's going to take us months in advance, I definitely want to be able to put it in and then set where we need the campaigns, and then be able to focus my energy on things that really do require my presence to do. Eventually, I would like to have somebody also help with this. So I like the fact that I can add an assistant to be able to take this over at some point.
Yeah. And then there are plenty of virtual assistants in our Facebook group, Content Masters. So you can definitely put a PSA ad looking for hiring, virtual assistants or other people. One thing I'll say is, yeah, no, that's, I mean, we always like when our small business owners hire one another, right? Because this keeps it in the small business community. People, empower each other. It's always helpful. One thing I'll say is you may be doing this already, but make sure those categories make sense long term for you so that everything you put in, majority of it is evergreen, right? So like motivational content. We have Content Masters, our own Facebook group. The tips that go in there, the tricks that go in there in terms of marketing or insights that go in there, those are evergreen at least for 6 months, and so we can reuse that content for a very long time. I mean, even if I post it twice a day, right, or twice a week, there's several weeks, months worth of content in there. So I would just say, make sure that everyone is using the categories to the best of their ability. And then if you want to divvy up your different businesses you're running, different clients you're running, you can always divide up by calendar on the right side, on the top right. That'll help you run, one business on one calendar with a certain level of integrations, and then another business on a different calendar with other integrations. So you don't overlap the integrations. That really makes it easy when you do create campaigns, because you'll only see those integrations for that business. And then you can switch the calendar and see another host of integrations for a different calendar.
Well, that's perfect. And that's kind of how I figured it was supposed to be. So I already put in our different divisions that we're going to be doing more social posts through. So that was very helpful.
Got it.
And yeah, and so I'm looking forward to Pinterest. We haven't really done anything with Pinterest, but it seems to be something that a lot of marketers are moving towards.
Oh yeah. Very visual, very powerful. And I don't know about your demographic, but if it's very women heavy, like our demographic, I would say about 60 to 70% of our customers are women-led businesses. Pinterest is your one of your best friends for sure. And depending on what plan you have, I don't know exactly what membership you have, but you can also create boards right inside the platform. If you have a lower plan, you can just go to Pinterest.com and create the boards, but then you can turn on the boards that you want over here, and those will be available for you. And then you can also schedule links directly to these pins as well. That was a thing that we did launch with, but that was a very common ask. So you can see here, you can enter action URLs, and for smart speakers, Alexa, Google My Business, and Pinterest, and it'll actually turn that into a button.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's great.
Definitely keep in mind when it comes to Pinterest.
Yeah, I will do that. And in the past, I have only used Pinterest as a communication vision board for my clients.
Oh, cool.
So I hadn't gone past that before. So I'm going to do more research as to really how to attract more people into our network, I guess. But it's been very limited for me in the past. And like I said, it's really been a means of communicating ideas to clients. So I have like maybe 50 people that are actually following what I do, and because it's never been on our radar. So this will be something that I think will be a little bit of a new learning curve, really trying to dive into what Pinterest has to offer.
So what other areas of your business do you need help with, or you need feedback on? Your website looks great. I didn't notice any email capture, at first there. So maybe that's something you may want to add, because email.
It's there. I just set it not to bug people if they're just going there for a little bit, because I just don't. I don't like it when I go to websites and you're there literally for a second and already they're asking you.
Well, we do it for 7 or 8 seconds, I believe. You want to give them
somewhere around where.
Yeah. But you do want that capture, because or an exit pop-up, as it's known, because when you move the cursor away to close the browser or the tab, you get a pop-up saying, hey, before you leave, Carlana, let me give you a quick opportunity to win a free whatever, right, or a free ebook. Enter your email.
Maybe it's just not set properly, or maybe I have to go back in and close the timing a little bit, but it doesn't pop up immediately.
Okay.
It's supposed to once, and maybe I have to go back in and make sure it's set to scroll so that when you start to scroll down, it eventually pops up.
Okay.
But that timing has to be tweaked. So it's never perfect. So
Yeah.
either you have it pop up right away and bug people, or
that's too much.
yeah, or you.
Well, the thing is,
tweak it and it doesn't pop up.
The reason why you want to keep the email there or capture the email is because most people, they think social media, you just post and you'll get all the gratification, all the drive you ever want. But the fact of the matter is only 5% of your audience will see it. So you got them, you got 100,000 people, 5,000 people, maybe on a good day will see it, maybe 10,000. So 90% didn't even know that you posted anything. With emails, at least our open rates when we send things out are between 30 and 50%. So email still the king, but that's why we wanted to build one scheduler, one message for multiple channels, is because you got to do your socials, you got to do your SEOs, and you got to do your emails and smart speakers, because those are, there are about 500 million Alexa devices around the world. You got to get the message out everywhere, right? It's like your diversified wealth management or marketing management in this case.
And that's a new one, certainly for us.
Which one?
Looking at Alexa.
Ah.
Looking at how we can move into that area of marketing, that and also streaming has become a little bit more affordable for small businesses if you want to do a small ad on a streaming service. I know that Hulu has like a program for small businesses to get involved, which is more accessible. But the concept of Alexa is, I think, even more accessible. So how does that work when I'm posting through Woofy? Do I just send that out as a regular post and it somehow translates to Alexa speakers?
Yeah, so the way it works here, let me just pull up a quick demo for you as an example. Demo. Here we go. All right, whoever just joined, I'm getting some background noise. If you can come on video, that'd be great, because I think you dialed in. All right, I'm gonna mute you for a second. All right, so to answer your question, Carolina, let me go ahead and go to the website. Okay, so for anyone who's tuning in, wants to take a look at the demo as well, you can go to HelloWoofy.com and just scroll to the bottom. And there's a little section that says, "Hey Alexa," right? So if you watch that video there, it's my living room with a projector. Let me go ahead and mute that. And so this is an example of a Fire TV or a Fire Stick, similar approach from in terms of device. And it hooks up to your TV. In this case, it's hooked up to my projector. And all I'm going to say is, "Hey Alexa, play the HelloWoofy skill." In your case, it could be the Carolina Art app or whatnot. And then you'll see that the skill actually comes up, and you see a little squares on the bottom. Those are video posts that you would have scheduled to Facebook anyways and Twitter anyways as like video files. And the text that you would have sent to Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter is also on the left side, on the top left. The one thing that we do recognize is that there's a hyperlink there. So if you enter a hyperlink in this post, as a post itself, it's called a briefing in Alexa ecosystem. You can actually click on that link and take the customer to your website. So in your case, it could be an art exhibit that you're doing online over Zoom, or it could be a webinar you're hosting, or you just want people to sign up and go to your website. So that can all happen on the TV itself, and all they have to do is just use a remote. However, if they have this touch-enabled speakers, those are called the shows, Echo shows. You can actually do the exact same thing I just showed you, except without a remote. You can just use your finger and just tap on it, and then tap on the links, tap on the briefings, tap on the app and navigate it, and then it's your brand, it's your collection of briefings that are going out to these devices.
And do I need an account through Amazon to do this?
No, we take care of all of that. You just need to create an app or a skill under HelloWoofy in the settings, and then once you do, we go through the whole approval process with them. And then once you get approved as a white label solution, then you can start broadcasting. It'll pop up in your selection here when you choose accounts. Like for example, if you go and download the HelloWoofy app or the skill, or approve for both, you just choose it on the bottom, like here, and then you can say, you know what, I also want to schedule to my TikTok. I also want to send it to my Instagram all at the same time. So that's the vision, is the one channel. It's gonna be one message, multiple channels.
And so if I schedule a post and I send it out through Alexa, then you guys create the account, the Silk account on the back end. And
no, these are apps and skills that we create for you. So like kind of like the App Store, the Apple App Store or the Play Store on Google Androids. This is an app or a skill. It's for all intents and purposes a package of software under your name, and then you can schedule to it. You can tell your followers to download it, and once they download it, they can start hearing your content. At the highest tier, you'll also be able to notify them. So they'll see a little notification on their TV saying, "Hey, Carlina has a notification," and they'll open it, and that can be scheduled too.
Okay, so as the end user, I'm just trying to figure out, since I don't own anything Alexa.
Oh, come on, you gotta go grab one.
I don't know. They are private to me. They're privacy. It's a little disconcerting, but I don't actually own any Alexa products. So but I'm okay. I'm okay sending.
You don't have to, by the way, in order to use this. You don't have to. That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
The customers very much have it. The average customer, I think we did a poll and we saw studies is like 1.2.
No, I know a lot of people have them.
I have 11.
You have 11. That's a lot. That's a lot of voice recognition in your home listening to you. But so as the end user of the Alexa product, and I'm streaming through the Fire TV and the Fire Stick, they have to, in order to receive my notifications or any of my posts, they actually have to go and download my app.
They have to opt in. So unlike the no, actually the App Store is the same way too. You have to advertise, you have to market the app that it exists in the Apple App Store and the Play Store through existing channels, right? Existing newsletters and social media and whatnot. Then once they do, just like the iOS store, I suppose, all of your devices will get it downloaded. And then when you send a notification at the highest membership plans that we offer, all the devices will get it. But it's very customer centric, and you're customer centric actually, because we want to make sure that you're not pushing, that you're actually, they welcome your message, they welcome your wisdom and your content, that you want to share directly to the speaker.
Okay, so
but that's going to be out in about a month or so, because we're still polishing it up a little bit. You can make skills, but apps and this notifications, all that stuff is going to be out probably in a month or two.
Okay, so that's on the horizon.
Yeah.
So if you're already into that type of digital marketing, are you also at some point going to go into, say, app advertising? Because then there's that market too, where you can advertise through various apps.
We were literally just having this conversation yesterday internally. We were thinking about, because we have a lot of robust technology to create captions. We're going to be integrating with GPT-3 very soon as well, so that you can. One caveat with GPT-3 technology. Do you know what GPT-3 is, Carlina? Yeah. So issue with that is, and we've been predicting this for 2.5 years now, is that a lot of search engines and a lot of platforms are going to come after you because they don't want robotic content being generated, right? So in our case, when you start creating content, we assist you. You create more content, we assist you. We optimize it. We ask you for validation. Is it okay? Is it good? You want to switch? Double click here. So it's very creator heavy. The issue with GPT-3 technology that's being used purely to take 3 words and turn them into 3,000 words is this. Google hates it. And I'm sure Microsoft's going to come out soon and other platforms will come out soon saying, hey, plagiarism's on the rise. As a creator, you really have to have some level of involvement, right? So we've been thinking about this yesterday to create content, with you. If we do anything with GPT-3, which we will be very soon, you're going to have to, validate that this is content that you want, that you've changed a couple of words, made, a couple of changes. Because the way we will produce the GPT-3 content for you is not how it's going to go out the door, because we already know what was produced. It's not going to go out at 100% similarity, which you may have seen in the library. We actually look at similarity to make sure that you're not getting in trouble because of Twitter. Twitter doesn't similar content. It's against their terms and conditions. Most people don't know that they signed off on that. But
Yeah.
like for example, this video here talking about Jim Edwards and investing in our company and becoming our biggest customer, we just put it out, so we cannot put out the same thing within 30 days. If I want to put it out again within 30 days, I just have to change a couple of words and it'll reduce the similarity for me. So that's the intelligence that we want to do with the creation.
So I think that's a really smart way of going about it, because I think we've all read blogs and documents online using GBD3, and there's almost no continuity in what is being said and how it's being presented, and you're just like, I totally know this person used an AI and
well, that and also the FTC
didn't do anything.
The FTC came out a couple of years ago and saying, hey, if this is native advertising, like it's an article but sponsored, you got to denote that. You got to make sure that people know. In fact, in Instagram, they did the paid partnership thing because of the FTC, if I'm not mistaken, because you have to really let the consumers know that, hey, this person's getting paid to say this stuff.
Right.
And so I've even seen creators say like #ad before they say anything else, just to make sure that they're compliant. But I think it's the same thing about creating content. You have to be involved.
Yes. I actually agree with that. You have to. I mean, even posting.
Yeah.
Even if you post out your campaigns, there has to be involvement from some human being, so that you are approving and you're actually reading what is going out. I mean, because some of it just doesn't make sense anymore when you're reading some of the content that's just being generated by AI. And you can tell. I think anyone who's like into blogging or reading anything of substantial, information can tell when a program has taken over. Taken over the structure of the entire article.
This is why we want to work with the creator and not replace them. So having said that, if anyone else who's tuning in wants more information on features and give feedback, if you go into our website, HelloWoofy.com, you'll see post-creation capabilities, scheduling capabilities, how we can help you create blog posts and newsletters, the whole 9 yards, even integrations that are currently available and new ones that are coming out in the future. They're all going to be available here, and you can see which plans those are going to be available. And if you obviously don't see an integration here that you want to recommend, like, Caroline was just recommending the Squarespace newsletter. Unfortunately, they don't have an API for it. But if they did, this would be a good place to give us a recommendation, and we can totally.
I can find it. Where do I send it? Or if I can get in touch with the techs that I work with. Okay, so if I find or they send me an API code, I can literally send it to you there.
Yeah, I don't know if they have the endpoints, built outright. So that you have to request them to build the endpoints. We'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
But as with anything else, if you see, other things that you want to recommend, we kind of want to be the Uber of marketing, right, for small business owners. In fact, one of our slideshows says that here, Uber of more smart marketing, because you can create you put a lot of effort into producing the beautiful message, but then you got to do it everywhere manually, one at a time.
Everywhere manually, yes.
Yeah. So that's the goal, is to take it and make it universal.
That's awesome. And I would be really, really surprised with all the APIs that Squarespace already has, that they don't have one for their email e-commerce group, because they have exploded with their email offerings and the e-commerce and the campaign offerings and everything. So also to that point, do you guys work with Zapier?
We don't do it as an API into them, but that's been asked a couple of times. Yeah, okay. So that might be on our roadmap. It's not on our roadmap immediately, but how would you recommend using that?
Well, I'm just thinking that if there's on my end, I could code it using Zapier if there wasn't a direct API end to end. So I could do a backdoor just to get the information in. I probably would need to reformat it once the information replicated, but I mean, there's always one way, more than one way to do something. So if by chance Square doesn't have a committed API,
Yeah.
you know, I could use, because they have a bunch, they work with Zapier. Zapier has a bunch of things going on with Squarespace, ordering and all these other things. And plus, they also work with all these other third-party vendors. Square does. So yeah. I'm thinking, worst case scenario, if I really needed to get the information from Woofy into the email newsletter, just to save time, we'd have to figure out how much time would that save if we were doing it on the back end versus if there was a point-to-point API.
Yeah.
Or cut and paste. I mean, you know, how much time would it really save if we were to do that? But on the outside chance, you know, working with Zapier kind of just opens up the field a little bit more to other customization. So just
we'll definitely look into it. I want to give whoever's here from 919 an opportunity. I'm asking you to unmute to say any few words or ask for help or, you know, introduce yourself. If you can ask to unmute. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, that'll be great. Otherwise, we're going to be concluding the call in a few seconds. All right. Well, unfortunately, please do call in, connect using your computer microphone and video that next time, because phone calls are a little bit harder to navigate. But thank you so much, Carolina, for your time, and everyone else who's tuning in. If you have any other questions, let us know over email. Just go to hellowoofy.com/support. And you can also email us, arjun@hellowoofy.com. And every Wednesday, we're going to be here helping you guys out, answering your questions. So we appreciate you being here as well.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.